this bar upstairs, so I'm gonna take this bar and throw it off the edge. And all I'll ever be is riding next to me, exploding on my screen, sunburn down on me. And I hope that you watch this, I hope that you will. I hope you feel better about these cards you dealt. Look up.
Looking good, Trace.
Merci beaucoup, Budo.
Yep,
Just got,
motoring along now, aren't you?
yep, just got to do this bit, then I'll move over here, and I've got to do a bit of, or you'll do a bit of raking out for me with the angle grinder, because the concrete is solid as a rock. But I'm just doing an awkward one here. This is quite a big infill, but you'll see it's a little bit darker, but it hasn't dried yet, and it will dry light.
Well, that's because you've just done this bit, haven't you? That's
yeah,
why.
to the pointing on the right, because it actually takes I think about 28 days, is that correct, for it to actually
Harden, yeah.
harden.
It's underneath, it's hardening for up to about half a year,
Yeah,
properly. But yeah, it's surface hard within 24 hours,
Yeah.
and then it starts to harden up properly within a few days. But
and then it changes its colour, but it's looking good. If
looking,
I don't mind
yeah, no,
saying
you are.
so.
It is looking good because you've done all that above as well
Yeah,
to where the roof is, and now she's Tracy's doing the inside part for the kitchen.
yep,
So this will all be kitchen finished. This will get another stiff brush off when it's all finished.
yeah.
So folks, here we go. I've now put in the openings and done the trimmers for the Veluxes. And some of you in the know might point this out, but you'll see, let me just put my bits down I've got in my hand. You'll see that the single trimmers on the top, but normally you would double trim on each end, yeah, because you're making the in-centre one weaker. But because I foresaw that, I put on over heavy timbers, yeah. So I put on really big deep timbers and wide as well, because they're 2 1/4 to 2 3/8 roughly, so they're oversized, overkill. So I don't need to do a double trimmer because everywhere is going to be knocked out tight to tighten up the roof to take the plasterboards. But I just want to explain about this roof a little bit for you so you understand it a little bit more. This is what we call in the trade a warm roof, okay? And the reason we say it's a warm roof is if you had a ceiling here, okay, all the way through, and then you lagged the ceiling, then it would be classed as a cold roof because the air would just blow through it, okay, and the lagging would protect it through the ceiling. But because we're lagging inside the ceiling, the roof rafters, we call it a warm roof, so it stays warm. It's just a little bit of different in construction. Let's go outside and show you what I've been doing out here. So me and Tracy this morning, we put this scaffold up here, okay. I'm going to go down here. We put this scaffold up so we can work this side as well. So we've got scaffold both sides now. I'm going to step up and go up. And as you've seen, I've built the ladder work over the side now, hanging over. Okay. Let's go up here for you. You get a bit of view of the Velux windows where they're going, or roof windows. So they're a nice size. You can get a better idea now, yeah. And then you can see more of a completion of the roof now. So I hope it ain't getting too tedious for you, all this roof, because it does take a long while. We've been at it now for 11 solid days. That ain't 11 days in time. What's it, about 15 days, Trey?
Yeah,
because of the rain, isn't it?
yeah, we've been sort of dodging in and out, and I've been quite fortunate with this. this, but there's some days where I've not been able to do the raining. But look, it's gone in now.
Lovely. I'll come back to that in a minute. So, it's been about 15 days in time, but there's been about 4 days where we couldn't do a thing. It was just honking it down with rain. You can see the ladder work. You can see all the stone work again. The concrete where I've cut, backfilled it, and then our felt and batt will go over the top. And look what I've got over here. So I've got all the battens ready, and it shocked me how expensive they are. Oh, I don't even want to talk about that. But yeah, it did. It shocked me when I went in there. Two things shocked me when I went into Builders Merchants was a roll of 6mm copper cable for the cooker, because we got an independent little cooker for Tracy for the summer, and that. It's half the price in the UK. I don't know why. It just is. But there's a roof ladder. It's a little bit shorter this time, isn't it? So I've cut it down. I've had to cut this one down because it's got to fit this roof. Okay, and if you can see, it comes down. It would hit the scaffold there, so it won't now. But I'm going to make another one for that roof there, because I got to get up the side there and do all the pointing up the side of that house. Anyway, let's go back down to see how Tracy's getting on. Last bit. Sorry about spinning you around, guys. Up on the roof. But yeah, we've been making real good progress time with this one. Really steamed in. When you've got no distractions and you can just keep going, you'd be amazed what you can do if you know, like, you can get it done. There you go. That's looking better, Trace.
So I've had to just sort. I filled, before I put the stone in, I actually filled the back off.
Yeah, just point to the stone you put in.
This one here,
there, yeah.
With a lot of mortar, and then I push my stone in so it's got something to stick onto, and then you just got to literally keep pushing it in.
You have to. I'll explain that. When Tracy's doing this work, she'll find loose stones, so she'll pull them out, put new mortar in and push them in again. But she has to keep on top, especially at the top there. When she was doing that, she had to put in stones to infill, a couple down here, and you're going to have a ton over there, aren't you, Trey?
Yeah.
So up there under the eaves, whoever built that roof did it wrong, really, but we can get round it. So she's got to fill all the stone in back up to the underneath of the battens, all the way through. They've put on miles too many gutter hooks.
Yeah.
They put one on every joist. You only need one every second or third. Anyway. So she's got to deal with that, and then there's holes over there, there's holes down on the bottom
and down the other end as well. But what I'll do is, once I finish this, I'll start this, but it's weather permitting.
Yeah.
You know, obviously, because it will come to a stage where I won't be able to point until the springtime.
Well, over there, yes, right. But here, we are going to be literally a few days away now, pending the weather. It looks like it's going to rain now, but a few days and I'm going to have this felt and battened.
Yeah.
And that'll take me probably to felt and batten this a day.
And I'll have this pointing done, so that's 2 big jobs.
And then we'll be like stopping the rain coming in here then, and then we could deal with the floor area, putting the membrane down, clearing up and putting the membrane down, put some more sand down first, and then we can start building the floor down here as well. So we're moving on at a pace, folks.
Some days I just feel like a bee with no queen. The colonies in chaos, the honey is green. I just can't always clock the pace, been falling off for days. Can't wait to take my chances and tornado from Kansas to coast. Seems too close to oceans. They hope to roll it and shake the land up. The owners will put their hands up and dip with benefits. Big fish never get caught, won't flinch. I caught hooks in spots where I swim. Been landlocked. These landlords want what I cannot get. To get to space I must take up. Can't evaporate and won't stay stuck. This backward state won't shape up. Don't know my place, I gotta make it up. It's time to go.
Get on, Trace, all right?
Yeah, it's actually...
I thought I'd come and film you because you're making loads of noise.
I put the pointed drill bit on the end because it seems to be...
Break a bit, yeah.
Yeah, breaking up the cement better, but I mean...
Well, ordinarily we wouldn't use that tool
No.
on this type of stonework or wall because you're normally raking out clay and lime, which is soft, but because they've put in like a very hard cement, even when you try and chip it by hand it was hard.
Yeah.
So Tracy's just got to nibble away, clear it out, then consolidate all the little stones again.
Yeah.
And then that's what you're up to. You've done that bit, haven't you?
Yeah, I've done down to where I want to be. Then I'll just clean all the lichen off, dust all the bricks down, and then I've literally got to come across here, down there, and the pointing's finished then.
Well,
before all the cold weather comes.
We're in, believe it or not, it's Sunday today, so we're just still busy at it. But ordinarily you wouldn't use a power tool on a Sunday in France, but because we are so far away from our neighbours, and we have spoke to them and said, you know, do you mind? They said no, we can't even hear anything. So we've made that commitment first, and also because we're out in the country, rural, it's we're miles away from anyone, like, you know. So, but we don't normally do this on a Sunday, but we have to get this done so we can get this closed in now.
Because we know I need to get this pointing finished because we know the weather's going to start changing.
Yep.
They're threatening about frost.
-3 last night, so we had a white frost everywhere this morning, early hours this morning, so it is coming.
Yeah, but this is all dried up nice and clear now, isn't it, as well?
Well, crack on then. Stop talking. I'll film you for a bit and then I'm going back up on the roof. I'm actually putting up the, you can see through the shadows, I'm putting the battens on for the tiles. So we'll leave Tracy go at that now. She'll get that cleared out and then she'll start pointing it.
Bonjour, Budo.
You're right, yeah.
How you getting on?
Right, so if you look down there, put the felt on, started to set the battens out. You always have your battens up. In France, it's obligatory and a law, I think, that you have to double batten your roofs now. Yep. Okay, which we've done already on the porch. So we're double battening this now. There is a reason for it. It's all to do with insurances and that. But the let me just show you the crochets. There's a couple of reasons. The crochets that sit over the wood, if you come down here, I'll show you, sit over like this, okay, and the tile hooks in there. The underneath of them has to have a good clearance, so in the wind it doesn't flap about and wear out the membrane.
That makes sense, doesn't it, really?
Yeah. The felt that goes on here is a graded felt. It has to be a requirement felt, so we put that on. And also you need a amount of distance for airflow through the roof, and that was what I was talking about before about the tiles, keeping the tiles dry. If the tiles are touching fully wood, and there's a lot of area of that, them tiles degrade very quickly because they stay wet underneath. Even though they're dry on top, they can be wet underneath still. They need that air to blow up behind them and keep them dry. So there's all these little reasons why you have to have the correct way, you know, double batten felt. So if you watch anyone else doing it any other way, that's basically wrong. You really want to do it the right way it's been specified.
But
and
you
also,
like it that way though, don't you?
I like this mid system. I mean,
the
I've done roofing in the past in England, and I've spoke to a very good French roofer here, Stefan his name is, and he put me right on a lot of things, and he was telling me all the rules and regulations of what I've got to follow, which I'm doing, you know. And it's just do it right the first time, you'd have to do it again. Anyway, so let me just show you what we're doing. So if you go back down again, we've got a distance between here and here, okay, and that's a set distance on the length of the tile that we're using, and what we call our headlap, what we call our overlap headlap. So basically I'll have about anywhere, I'll work it out in a minute, but it'll be anywhere from about 110 mil roughly overhang that will be exposed. So if you point back up here, Trace, this was a roof done by a roofer, and I believe the roofer was French, but the fellow who built the timber work, I'm not quite sure, but he didn't do a very good job on the timber work, because he's put, well, he ain't done a bad job. I mean, what he's done is he put too many of these hooks in everywhere, and he's also done, he didn't take, when he put his timbers down before they put the roof on, he didn't build it up, so it was closed in, so we got to do that after, but that's not a problem. But this is the distance here, yeah, so this distance left on the tile, this tile actually, you only see that much of it, but it goes right up here. Okay, and that reason is for these two tiles and that tile to overlap. And then you got, so we call it your headlap. Right, you have to get that right, and that's all down to different size tiles, because there's about, I don't know, 20 or something tile sizes all over the place, you know, different widths, different heights. So that's a trick you need to know. You need to know the maths for that to work this out, and that's the tricky bit about roofing, you know, when they have to get this right first. So there we are. So I'm just about to ping a line.
Yep,
which
okay, let me
now.
Just walk back, hold on, just a little bit, and we got shadow here.
I'm going to ping a line through here now. Let me put that down, and I'm going to do this with every single batten. Okay, you can put a spacer, but if you look at these battens, they're quite thin and they're a bit wavy. I'm just going to go past you.
I'm going to come down this end.
Okay, so just going to ping a line here now. Okay, you can see a nice red line through there. Okay, and that's my headlap. That's what we call my headlap, or the distance I'm giving it, the finish of these tiles. Just lost something. Tracy's kicked off the wood.
It's hard because I'm standing in
you're
a
right.
narrow
Can't
space.
see what you're doing, can you? So basically, that's it. So I'm going to work my way up. If you look here and you remember, there's two Velux windows to go in here. Okay, so there's one here, under here. Going to go in here. I've not done that top batten yet, because I've got to push this over, this overlap, and then cut this batten to right, and then I've got to cut this in a certain way that it works properly for the drainage or any leakage under the tiles. But by setting out the tiles correctly, you should have that secondary boundary, the felt, shouldn't come into play at any stage. It's only come into play when the tiles get damaged or get hit with the wind and blown off or something, you know. So later on, once I get this bit further,
I'll come back.
Come and have a little film again, and I'll show you how we get round that side of it.
Okay, Budo. Thank you.
We've got some sunshine now. Clouds in the distance, but sunshine at the moment, so we've got to use it while we can.
That's good.
Okay.
Always clock, the pace been falling off. 4 days, can't wait to take my chances. And tornado from Kansas to coast seems too close to oceans. They hope to roll it and shake the land up. The owners will put their hands up and dim with benefits. Big fish never get caught, won't flinch. I caught hooks in spots where I swim. Been landlocked. These landlords want what I cannot give. To get to space, I must take up. Can't evaporate and won't stay stuck. This backward state won't shape up. Don't know my place, I gotta make it up. It's time to go.
Welcome. So you see what I was up to there. I was just putting the battens in, stringing lines across, pinging. Sometimes the ping lines don't go down onto the wood, so I use this little bit here. This is my gauge. Okay, this is the size of my gauge. It's been worked out to the tiles I'm using. So let me spin you around and show you. Okay, so nearly halfway up now. I should get this done in an hour or so. And you can see I'm missing intermittent here. Just cutting them a little bit longer because there's a hole under there where the Velux is going to go down in. Okay, and when the Velux comes up underneath, there's a batten underneath this you can't see, and then I'll cut them off to that. Our felt is uplapped up onto the wall. Okay, so we do a what we call a step flashing, or each individual tile, if you lay slate tiles, they have to be individually soakers, have their own soakers. Okay, that means that every tile you have to cut an individual one for. You can't just put them under the tiles and then over tiles over the top, because when it leaks through, it goes through the tile, runs along the tile and drips in. Okay, so you have to have an individual one, and then you have to know your upturn and your minimum bedding. But I'll show you that when I get to that. But anyway, so yeah, pushing on now. If you look over the top there, you can see the battens ready to start that side as well. So all I'm going to do now is carry on as I have been. I'm just going to trim these ends off and then just carry on up the roof till I'm done, and then move to the other side, and then I'll start to put the tiles on. There's some tiles down there. There's another little thing I want to show you there. We've got these tiles, right? So they've got lichen, moss and all the other things that you get, birds number 2, whatever it is, right? It goes on the roof. Looks something like that a little bit, yeah. But I've got a cleaner for these, a special tile cleaner. And when you put it on, oh my God, it just straight away clean, instantly. It's just like put a little bit on, scrub it, boom, off. So me and Trace, we're going to do a few thousand of these together. But we're going to spread it out over evening. So when we finish our work in a day, we're going to spend an hour or an hour and a half just cleaning tiles until we get enough up, just before the dark hits. And then once it gets dark, and then we'll stop, obviously, have some dinner or have a shower, whatever we got to have, whatever you do, you know. Anyway, so I'm going to crack on. Get some tiling, get some battening done, ready for the tiles, and I think I've explained everything to you. You can see the double batten system. I don't know if I told that to you, but anyway, you've got a double batten system, so you've got plenty of space under here. This has to be quite tight under here as well. This can't be sagging, like deep sagging or anything. It has to be quite tight. It allows the air to flow through. It's more the air than water. Let the air flow through and dry the underneath of the tiles. That's the key. That's to keep the tiles dry. Anyway, let's crack on.